We're about to watch this Void 3.0 stuff and read the blog. If I can find the blog. For the first time. I've seen some snippets of it. I've seen little bits and pieces, but I haven't seen it yet. Here we go. I'm so excited. The little Hunter Heart can't take it.
In Season 16, you're going to see a massive revamp to the Void subclass system across all 3 classes. This is a huge update and will allow...
I got really excited to start reading and stuff, and this is state
players to build.
Okay. Melee final blows, grenade energy. Basically, and we knew this, we've known this for a while, they're just revamping it to make it more like stasis. What? Is that 7 grenades? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 7 grenades. Wow.
Never done before.
One of the things we
Wait, what was that?
Is create a core set of verbs.
Wait, what was that?
Like we did with
whatever.
Anyone can run suppressors now.
Anyone can run suppressors now, which I think they added because you can suppress the loose
That's
and
some pretty cool.
I'm going to be running suppressor today.
We wanted you to feel like you were the energy vampire, feel like you were the night stalker, feel like you were that protector, that big sentinel titan.
The Void 3.0
This is
update
so
is
dope.
really setting the stage for how we're thinking about updating the subclasses for the rest of the year.
We're going to extend this philosophy to solar and art. We're going to take the fantasies that you know and love today. We're going to embellish them. So what you...
That is so cool. That's such a cool aspect of a hunter to be able to turn your, to smash a smoke like that and turning your teammates invisible. And listen, I understand some of these mechanics are already in the game, but it's just, I'm glad that they're taking this approach to it, and I'll explain kind of what I mean by that here in a minute.
You'll see it's like all of the new abilities, all the new actions you take, reinforce that to the core. Pretty excited about it.
I love it. I love it. I tweeted this out, I think earlier today, like early this morning, but the best part about seeing any kind of like Bungie Vidoc is that, or Vidoc, or whatever you want to pronounce it. I've always said Vidoc. Watching that is how giddy that these Bungie developers get over those kinds of things. It's amazing. Okay, a closer look at Void 3.0. This one's not super long. 8 hours ago. I hate that all of these bombs drop when I'm not there, man. I'm at work. Okay, with Witch Queen expansion for D2. Exploring the seat of Savathun's power. The Fairy's throne world to face the Lucid Brood. Just into the new power cap. Host of new weapons and armor. Guardians be imbued with new capabilities thanks to significant changes. This is the Void 3.0. Okay, that's what we're calling it. Arc and Solar are happening. I think they've alluded to it many times that it is happening this year, which is huge to me. I think that's massive for the game. Void abilities haven't really been developed since 17, which was, by the way, 5 years ago. Okay. Reaction to a sandbox that was in D1, Void 3.0, and the other ones set of goals they want to attain to bring classic elemental powers in line with the challenge level and balance of today's sandbox, which is so true. Like the other, don't get me wrong, I'm super used to the trees. I love the static tree functionality of Destiny 2. I think that the synergy in all of these have been fantastic, but man, I'm super excited for build crafting in Destiny 2. Super excited about it. We're trying to codify each of the damage types so that each element has its own world of gameplay that it's dominant over. For example, Stasis, domain of crowd control. Void, thematically and mechanically, is about gravity, space, cosmic powers, infinite cosmic power. That means we want things to feel like you're shooting black holes that drag people in. There's a lot of personality we can draw from that creates cool mechanics. So true, and I think they've done just a fantabulous job at doing this too so far, and so I can't wait. The first big Void 3.0 change is the introduction of aspects and fragments, which we've had in Stasis. More options to choose from when it comes to abilities they want. Class-specific selectable items that give players additional actions they can perform within their element. Fragments are non-class specific. This is awesome. I'm so excited. Yeah, and I don't know if you guys knew that or not. Aspects, class-specific, fragments, non-class specific. So the team worked around to center new verbs, new actions that define what Void should mean going forward. It wasn't just like a passive or a single perk. It should feel like a new thing that you are adding into your toolkit. All of the actions feel like they have new performances to them. It's amazing. Even down to like the way our Guardians do things has changed, which you noticed, which is in that vid, was fantastic. Manifest themselves in the forms of new actions for players to use in battle. New actions such as the Trapper's Ambush will find the Hunter diving, slamming into the ground, weakening enemies, and causing nearby allies to become temporarily invisible. Oh, my Hunter main heart is so happy! Titans will be able to grant barriers to allies. Warlocks will be able to summon entities from beyond. You guys saw and probably saw in the Vidoc the little black hole buddy that went out and did the thing. None of that was available before the Witch Queen. The old diamond system, they call it a diamond system, I've always called it subtrees, I think we all have, was rooted around melee augments, super augments, and 2 passive abilities, which is so true. It was a very synergistic way to do these things, and they did a really good job with them, but it was you get one of 3 things. We've taken elements and abilities from the diamonds and promoted them to full-size aspects. The Warlock's Chaos Accelerant ability is a good example, where the Warlock can charge their Void Nades into more powerful versions and throw them, looking at you, Handheld Supernova. While that's something that's existed before, we believe that the performance and the identity of that ability is strong and feels like a unique ability enough to stand on its own as an aspect. So you'll be able to charge all of your grenades, it sounds like. 3.0 upgrades, we're trying to take the cool parts of what exists, add in new stuff, and then bye-bye! Before we take a deeper look at each subclass, let's align on some terminology. Okay, definitions class, write these down. Suppress, the target's taken out of an active ability when suppressed, and while suppressed, the target can't activate any abilities or movement abilities. Combatants are disoriented. This is gonna be huge for the Lucent Brood. We've seen Lucent Brood suppression in gameplay videos, so that's cool. To weaken something is to debuff them, right? Increase damage, slow movement, also disoriented. Volatile, the target will explode in a void detonation upon taking additional damage. If the target dies before Volatile has taken enough damage to detonate, detonation happens anyway. Invisibility and no radar. Overshield, protective barrier, immediately stacks on top of their existing health and intercepts incoming damage. Temporary hit points, right? Reduces damage taken from PvE as well. Devour, the player is immediately restored to full health upon activating Devour from any source and is granted grenade energy. When the player gets any kill with Devour active, they are restored to full health, granted grenade energy, and their Devour buff timer is extended. Oh my God, they broke Devour. Let's take the class by class. Okay, Titans. Okay, let's take a look at the Titan. A Void-enabled Titan is a stalwart shield of a fire team. I'm not reading that. This is really cool. Previously, you had 2 supers, right? Bubble! And your Sentinel Shield. And they were tied to each other because of the trees, right? Sit through a chunk of Sentinel Shield activation animation for the word bubble was created. Yeah, this was always like super annoying to me, right? The activation was the same and you had that really stupid animation. Stupid animation. But it is what it is. Oh my God. That is buggy. Oh my, awesome. Bubble. That's so good. Okay, that's amazing. Void 3.0, the 2 functions are separated, which is good because you pick which one you want, which is what you did anyway. You didn't run Middle Tree and then pop Sentinel Shield. This never happened. You never did that. Word of Dawn is now nearly instantly activated. Yes, it was. Moved to the fastest super cooldown tier, making it much more available to the Titan in need. I think this is good. I like that a lot. I'm slightly concerned about PvP like effects, but we'll see what happens. Means it's much better reactionary than defensive tool. True. As an example, if a Hunter were to jump at you and cast Blade Barrage, the Titan can now pretty reliably activate Ward of Dawn before any of the enemy super lands and survive as a result. Yeah, as if Hunter Blade Barrage needed another nerf. This is what I was talking about. I don't really like the PvP implications, but you do what you gotta do. Sentinel Shield will allow Titans to traverse the battlefield bashing foes with their Void Shield, tossing their shield, and Throne Shields will damage opponents, and apply Volatile if the aspect's equipped. Shield Bash grants full overshield. That is terrifying. They're breaking Void in PvP. The Titan's offensive bore. Yo, did you see that? Okay, so he gets behind his barricade, gets an overshield, it seems. Punch. Okay. 3 main Titan aspects. Here we go. Controlled demolition, so hitting a target with a void ability or volatile destination makes them volatile. So crowd control to a degree. Bastion, casting barricade generates an overshield for yourself and nearby allies. So it could be, so rally or towering is what that sounds like. Those bunkering behind it will generate an overshield over time and extend the duration. Offensive bulwark, while you have overshield or are inside the Ward of Dawn, grenades charge significantly faster and you have increased melee damage. You also gain an additional shield throw for your Sentinel Shield super. Okay, let's take a look at the grenade down here. Does he throw a nade? Okay. Okay, that doesn't charge. Okay, yeah, it does. Can you see it? Yeah. See if I can full screen. Oh, this quality is awful. Jesus. Okay, yeah, here we go. Take a look at this. So, boom. When he goes behind that, you immediately see this below me start to charge. That's incredible. Oh, these are really strong. Really strong. Hunters! Prioritize movement and stealth into the shadows in the heat of battle. Whether it's enjoying a few moments of tactical recalibration in a tense encounter by briefly vanishing after dodging an attack, or setting snares and traps to disorient their opponents, a fight with a hunter is always a study in agility, surprise, and deadly precision. Mad facts. A hunter's vanishing step. Okay, so dodge invis. And you can see your invisibility. Do you see that? Where's my mouse? See this invisibility counter. So, boom. 5-second invisibility. Okay. In addition to the Spectral Blade super, Shadow Shot variants that hunters are accustomed to, Deadfall and Mobius Quiver, still be found. Some changes to be aware of. For example, Mobius Quiver will fire volleys of 3 arrows. I don't know. Did you guys notice that up here? Nope, that's just the one. Oh, Mobius. Okay, it's down here. It's down here. Mobius Quiver will fire volleys of 3 arrows that now track and make them volatile if they are tethered. In addition, Deadfall, void anchors that are dropped after shadow shots will now pull enemies towards it when it impacts. That's not bad. I wonder how strong that is. Hunter's Snare Bomb melee will now weaken opponents as well, and in PvP, players caught in the snare will have their HUD removed and an obscuring screen effect applied for a short time. Eek. Yoink. Okay, yeah, the triple shot. They're taking mad damage in there too. See the invis counter here. You get 10 seconds of invis. I don't think these damage numbers can be... That was cool. Blow the moth in his face. That's dope. What a cool finisher. Okay. I don't think those damage numbers can be trusted because that is a test build of the game, so I wouldn't pay too much attention to how quickly that stuff dies in all of these videos, but anyhow. 3 aspects. Trapper's Ambush. Players can activate Quickfall to spend their melee charge, dive to the ground, create, and we saw that earlier in the original, right? So you dive, create a smoke cloud, and enemies caught in that cloud are weakened, allies become invisible. Snare bombs, upon attaching to the surfaces, cause nearby allies to become invisible. So that's a mechanic we're used to. That's a mechanic we know and love. And now it's in that Trapper's Ambush aspect. Or, so you gotta pick these, right? You gotta pick one of these. Vanishing Step, Invis Dodge, Stylish Executioner, defeating a void debuff target on any of those levels, grants invisibility and true sight, and while invisible, and after a stylish execution, your next melee attack weakens enemies. This isn't bad. I would say that the Titan Void buff is significantly better, in my opinion, but that's not bad. Hunters didn't get a lot of love in this, in my personal opinion. That's okay. Locks. Here we go. The Nova Warp Super lets Warlocks quickly teleport from one spot to the next. Our Ionic Blink can choose to let loose with the Deadly Void Eruption. Vortex Super Enhancement, a player's Nova Bomb will now draw enemies into the singularity it creates, and then damaging them once it's inside. Casting a Nova Bomb with a Cataclysm Enhancement will cause it to travel across the battlefield and seek out enemies. Detonations will shatter into smaller Seeker projectiles and shooting the Nova will cause it to detonate early. Warlock's Melee Pocket Singularity fires an unstable ball of void energy that detonates when it nears enemies, pushing them away from its blast. He expects this melee to find particular... Yeah, well, duh. We do a lot of PvP testing and knocking someone who is trying to shotgun rush you off the map with a poppet. We do a lot of PvP testing, and knocking someone who is trying to shotgun rush you off the map with a pocket singularity is always a good time. Think twice about the rush, baby. That's the old gods thing. Yeah, pulls them in, weakens, damage. Yeah. It's just a closer look at what we saw in the Vidoc for that Child of the Old Gods. Okay. 3 aspects. Here we go. Chaos Accelerant. Hold down the grenade button to overcharge your grenade. So your Vortex, Axion, Scatter, and Magnetic grenades. And the Magnetic overcharge into the handheld Supernova. Feed the Void. Defeat an enemy with a Void ability, and it automatically activates Devourer. That's insanity. Child of the Old Gods. Cast your Rift to summon the Void Soul. When you damage an enemy with your weapon, the Void Soul launches itself towards them, detonates, attaching draining tendrils will deal damage and weaken the target. When your Void Soul deals damage, it restores either melee and grenade energy or health, depending on... So it... Melee and grenade if you're running Healing Rift, or health if you're running Empowering Rift back. Defeating an enemy who's being drained grants Rift energy. Okay, bro, like, that is nasty. That's disgusting. How on earth are you gonna break the other 2 classes and do practically nothing for Hunters? Oh. Okay. To complement the class-specific aspects, introduce a number of new fragments, which offer new perks to build upon, blah, blah, blah. Here's a look at some of the new fragments. Echo of Expulsion. Void ability kills cause enemies to explode. Ding, ding. Echo of Provision. Damaging enemies with grenades grants melee. To be expected, right? Takes a strength penalty, though. That's tough. Domineering. So when you suppress a target, gain greatly increased mobility for a short duration, and your equipped weapon is reloaded from reserves. Or undermining void grenades weaken enemies. Discipline penalties for that make sense. It makes sense. Another significant change, all subclasses have access to all void grenade types in the game. I feel like that's a really good... I think that's a good thing. I think that's a really good thing. Hunter, you can run suppressor or magnetic grenades instead of just the void spike or the void wall. Some grenades will see upgrades. The lingering field created by the vortex will now suck enemies into it, which it mentioned up in the blog post. Play Destiny before the Witch Queen expansion will have access to all Void 3 aspects and most of the fragments within the launch of Witch Queen. This is awesome. This is huge. And several fragments are going to be available after the first world raid completion, which is fair because some of them are going to be stupid broken. Just, it is what it is. New Destiny 2 players will earn their aspects and fragments as part of the new light game experience. That's cool. New abilities, tweaks, powers, build crafting. The team is everything. After all that, one theme is clear. The team behind Void 3.0 is focused on giving Guardians the chance to fulfill the fantasy of their chosen class by giving them ample opportunity to do what their class does best. We've built out multiple ways for the player to access and key off their core verbs. For example, the Titan has several ways to earn and extend Overshield in a fight. You can use the Bastion aspect, or your Shield Throw grants Overshield, as does the Void Shoulder Charge. With Overshield, Titans also get increased grenade recharge, melee damage. As a result of these new buildcraft options, players can double and even triple dip into verbs, like Overshield for Titans or invisibility for Hunters. It means you can do the things that your class is supposed to do all the time. Build crafting, that's what this is. Void 3.0 arrives to coincide with launch. Okay, so this means a few things. One, absolutely busted Warlocks and Titans. Void is now absolutely something that those classes are going to be using, myself included. All of that to say that Hunters did get left in the dust, but I do like where they're headed in Void 3.0. Well, and he said it. It means you can do the things that your class is supposed to do all the time. He said it. You're able to fully dip into what it means to be a Void user for your class. And that is a really cool thing. I think that this expansion will find Hunters once again getting the short end of the stick, as it said. Titans are nutty. Warlocks are nutty. And Hunter got a minor buff to Mobius Quiver, essentially, is how I see it here. If you disagree, let me know. Let me know in the comments down below. With that, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.